3 Ukrainian drones. 3 Russian nuclear warning radars destroyed. One night. Russia suddenly blind to incoming ballistic missiles from North America. Putin faces nightmare scenario. Is this coordinated NATO first strike? Are American ICBMs already launched? His early warning system cannot tell him. Dead hand automatic retaliation system moves toward activation. 10 minutes from accidental nuclear war. January 12, 2026. This is how regional conflict nearly triggers global apocalypse. This is why attacking nuclear infrastructure crosses every red line. And this is the closest humanity came to nuclear war since Cuban Missile Crisis. Russian early warning system designed during Cold War. Purpose: detect American ICBM launch. Provide 15-20-minute warning before impact. Allow Russian leadership time to decide retaliation. System includes satellite constellation and ground-based radars. 10 major radar stations. Voronezh class. Phased array. Range 6,000 kilometers. Cover approaches from United States, Europe, China. Critical infrastructure. Without them, Russia blind. Cannot see incoming missiles. Cannot respond appropriately. Lose deterrence capability. Ukraine targeting Russian military infrastructure since 2022. Airfields, ammunition depots, oil refineries, command centers, legitimate military targets. But early warning radars different category. These aren't offensive weapons. They're defensive sensors, part of nuclear deterrence system. Attacking them destabilizes strategic balance, creates use it or lose it pressure, makes nuclear powers paranoid. Exactly what happened January 12th. Ukrainian military intelligence identified vulnerability. 3 Voronezh radars positioned within 1,800 kilometers of Ukrainian border. Armavir in southern Russia. Orsk in Urals. Olenegorsk near Murmansk. These radars provide coverage of northern approaches, where American ICBMs would come from. Destroying them creates blind spot. Strategic advantage for Ukraine? Doubtful. But psychological impact on Russian leadership? Enormous. That's actual goal. Demonstrate reach. Create paranoia. Undermine confidence. What's your assessment of attacking nuclear warning systems? Type A if legitimate military target. Type B if unacceptable escalation. Drop your analysis below. January 12th, 0147 hours Moscow time. First wave launches. 12 Ukrainian long-range drones. Target, Armavir radar station. Krasnodar region, 2,200 kilometers from Ukraine. Drones developed domestically. Similar design to previous strikes on refineries. 80-pound warhead, 1,800-kilometer range. GPS and inertial navigation. Fly low. Avoid detection. Arrive in coordinated swarm. 6 hours flight time. Time to strike simultaneously at 0730 hours local time. Armavir radar massive structure. Phased array panels 30 meters tall. Transmitter building, control center, power station, support facilities, crew 180 personnel. Operates 24/7. Constantly scanning northern horizon. Detecting satellites. Tracking space debris. Searching for ICBM launches. Normal operations January 12th. No indication of threat. Ukraine never struck this category of target before. No reason to expect attack. 0730 hours. 12 drones arrive simultaneously. Russian air defense at Armavir minimal. Station considered secure by geography. Deep inside Russia. Not frontline target. 2 Pantsir systems on site. Designed for aircraft defense. Can engage drones but 12 simultaneous targets overwhelm capacity. Pantsir destroys 4 drones. 8 penetrate. Impact radar panels. Control buildings. Explosions ripple across facility. Fires erupt. Radar goes offline immediately. Billion-dollar installation crippled in 4 minutes. If this nuclear crisis analysis provides value, take a second to hit that subscribe button. Russian military command receives notification VU 0735 hours. Armavir offline. Attack by multiple drones. Radar destroyed. Coverage gap created. Northern sector blind. Situation serious but manageable. 9 other radars operational. System degraded, not destroyed. Repair teams dispatched. Estimated restoration time, 4 months. Unacceptable, but survivable. Then second attack notification arrives. Airwait 12 hours. Orsk radar station under attack. Western Urals, 1,600 kilometers from Ukraine. 8 drones inbound. Same pattern. Low altitude approach. Simultaneous arrival. Local air defense engages. Destroys 3. 5 drones impact radar facility. Major damage. Radar offline. Second billion-dollar installation destroyed in 45 minutes. Now 2 radars down. Coverage gap widening. Northern approaches less monitored. Russian military leadership escalates alert level. This isn't coincidence. This is coordinated campaign against nuclear warning infrastructure. Airwait 3 hours. Third attack. Olenegorsk radar station. Murmansk region. Arctic Circle. 2,000 kilometers from Ukraine. Furthest target. 10 drones arrive. Air defense destroys 6. 4 impact radar installation. Sufficient damage. Radar offline. 3 of 10 early warning radars destroyed in 2 hours. Russia's ability to detect ICBM launches from North America degraded 40%. Coverage gaps across northern sector. Blind spots where American missiles could penetrate undetected. Russian Strategic Rocket Forces commander reports situation to President Putin. 900 hours. 3 early warning radars destroyed simultaneously. Ukraine responsible, but timing suspicious. All 3 within 2 hours. Coordinated with NATO? American satellites watched strikes. Did nothing to warn Russia. Is this preparation for first strike? Destroy early warning, then launch missiles through blind spots. Russia cannot see them coming, cannot respond in time. Deterrence eliminated. What would your assessment be as Russian commander? Ukrainian action alone or NATO coordination? Comment your strategic judgment. Putin convenes Emergency Security Council meeting 0915 hours. Military chiefs present threat assessment. 3 scenarios discussed. First, Ukraine acting independently, demonstrating capability, creating psychological pressure. No immediate threat beyond damaged radars. Second, Ukraine coordinating with NATO. Attacks time to create window for Western first strike. Extremely dangerous. Requires immediate heightened alert. Third, attacks or diversion. Real threat coming from different direction. China, internal coup, paranoia increasing. Putin demands satellite intelligence review. Are American ICBMs being prepared for launch? Space-based sensors still operational. Coverage of U.S. missile fields continues. No activity detected. Silos remain closed. Submarines in normal patrol patterns. No indication of imminent launch. Should be reassuring. Instead, increases suspicion. Maybe Americans using new stealth missiles Russia cannot detect. Maybe attack comes from submarines close to coast. Reduced warning time? Blind spots in early warning system mean Russia cannot be certain. Defense Minister Shoigu recommends heightened nuclear readiness. Strategic rocket forces to increased alert status. Mobile missile launchers disperse from bases. Submarines go to patrol stations. Strategic bombers generate sorties. Not full combat alert, but preparation for possibility. Standard protocol when nuclear warning system compromised. Ensure second strike capability intact. Demonstrate to adversaries that Russia remains dangerous even if partially blind. This level of detailed nuclear crisis analysis requires extensive research. Support the channel with a thumbs up if you found this valuable. Dead Hand System receives Situation Update. Perimeter in Russian. Automatic nuclear retaliation system. Designed during Cold War. Purpose: guarantee Soviet response even if leadership killed. System monitors communication with military command. Detects nuclear explosions on Russian soil. If command structure destroyed and explosions detected, system automatically launches retaliatory strike. No human input required. Doomsday machine. January 12th. System notes degraded early warning network. Increased military alert status. Command communications stressed. Parameters approaching activation threshold. Not there yet, but closer than any time since 1983. American satellite surveillance detects Russian military movements immediately. National Reconnaissance Office tracks mobile missile launchers leaving bases. Strategic bombers taking off. Submarines departing ports. Pattern indicates nuclear force generation. U.S. Strategic Command notifies President 0945 hours Eastern Time. Russia mobilizing strategic forces. Reason unknown. No apparent trigger. Threat assessment elevated. U.S. begins own preparations. Not matching Russian movements, but ready to respond if necessary. CIA receives intelligence from source inside Russia 10:15 hours. Ukrainian drones struck 3 nuclear warning radars. Russian leadership believes NATO coordination possible. Paranoia extreme. Discussing increased alert levels. Considering preemptive options if convinced attack imminent. Source emphasizes Putin genuinely concerned, not posturing. Actual fear of decapitation strike. Situation extremely volatile. Miscalculation risk high. President receives briefing 10:30 hours. Situation critical. Russia believes NATO destroyed early warning radars as preparation for first strike. Russia mobilizing nuclear forces. Paranoia could lead to preemptive launch. Need immediate de-escalation. Direct communication essential. President orders immediate contact through Nuclear Risk Reduction Center. Direct link between U.S. and Russian military commands. Established for exactly this scenario. Prevent accidental war through miscommunication. Don't miss future nuclear crisis analyses. Make sure you're subscribed so you catch every detailed breakdown. 10:45 hours Eastern Time, 18:45 hours Moscow time. U.S. Chairman Joint Chiefs contacts Russian counterpart. Message clear. United States not preparing attack. No U.S. involvement in Ukrainian strikes. Americans learned of attacks through intelligence same time as Russia. No NATO coordination. Ukraine acted independently. U.S. willing to provide satellite data proving no American missile preparations. Transparency to prevent misunderstanding. Russian General Staff skeptical. Americans would say that regardless of truth, but satellite data offer tempting. Russia's own space-based sensors damaged in previous Ukrainian attacks. Coverage incomplete. American data could fill gaps. Verify no preparations underway. Risk of information sharing versus risk of acting on incomplete intelligence. Choose information. Request American satellite feed covering U.S. missile fields. U.S. provides real-time satellite imagery 11:15 hours. Shows Minuteman III silos, submarine bases, bomber installations. All normal activity. No heightened readiness. No launch preparations. Russian analysts review data. Cross-check with own sensors. Data matches. Americans genuinely not preparing anything. Conclusion. Ukraine acted alone. No NATO coordination. No imminent threat. Paranoia unjustified. Recommend de-escalation. Putin receives updated assessment 1900 hours Moscow time. American data indicates no threat. Ukraine responsible for attacks but acting independently. Western intelligence confirms no NATO involvement. Satellite surveillance shows no U.S. preparations. Threat level reduced. But anger remains. Ukraine struck strategic nuclear infrastructure, created dangerous situation. Risked nuclear war through miscalculation. Unacceptable escalation. Russia must respond, but carefully. Avoid further escalation while demonstrating consequences. Your engagement determines what operations we analyze next. If this provided strategic insight, share it with anyone studying nuclear deterrence and crisis management. Dead hand system parameters recede from activation threshold. Russian military command communications stabilized. Nuclear alert level decreases. Mobile launchers return to bases gradually. Submarines maintain patrol but no longer combat alert. Bombers land. Strategic rocket forces return to normal readiness. Crisis receding. 10 minutes from potential accidental launch. Avoided through direct communication, transparency, verification. Cold War protocols worked. Prevented hot war outcome. International reaction severe. United States privately warns Ukraine against targeting nuclear warning infrastructure. Creates unacceptable risks. Ukraine argues radars are military targets. Located on Russian soil. Supporting war effort. Legitimate under international law. Americans counter that nuclear deterrence systems occupy special category. Attacking them destabilizes global security. Benefits nobody. Ukraine reluctantly agrees to avoid future strikes on similar targets, understanding that Western support depends on avoiding nuclear brinksmanship. Russia reinforces remaining radars, additional air defense systems, hardening against drone attacks, accelerated repair of damaged installations, temporary radar units deployed to cover gaps, space-based surveillance enhanced, cannot allow blind spots to persist. Nuclear deterrence requires assured second strike capability. That requires early warning. No negotiation. Priority funding for restoration and improvement. Strategic lessons profound. Regional conflicts involving nuclear powers carry global risks. Ukrainian drones caused crisis between Russia and United States. Neither Ukraine nor US wanted nuclear confrontation, yet came within minutes because of damaged radars and paranoia. Shows how easily local actions trigger international catastrophes. Every military planner studying January 12th, understanding how close world came to nuclear war over drone strikes, incorporating lessons into doctrine. Technical implications drive investment. Early warning radars need better protection. Redundancy, hardening, dispersal, cannot allow single night of drone attacks to compromise strategic deterrence. Nuclear powers reviewing similar vulnerabilities, upgrading defenses, adding sensors, ensuring no blind spots. Cost immaterial when alternative is nuclear uncertainty. Budgets approved without debate. Communication protocols validated. Direct military-to-military contact prevented disaster. Nuclear Risk Reduction Center worked as designed. Hotlines functioned. Data sharing provided verification. Transparency reduced paranoia. Systems established during Cold War remain relevant. Perhaps more relevant. Modern warfare creates new escalation paths. Old communication channels essential for managing risks. So here's the critical question for nuclear strategists and crisis managers. Should early warning radars be off-limits even in conventional war? Can nuclear powers tolerate blind spots in deterrent systems? What's protocol when regional conflict threatens global stability? How do you prevent accidental nuclear war when everyone paranoid? Share your nuclear crisis analysis below. If you made it through this entire nuclear crisis analysis, you're exactly who this channel serves. Hit subscribe, hit notification bell, share with anyone interested in nuclear deterrence and strategic stability. Because 10 minutes on January 12th taught lessons about nuclear brinksmanship that could save civilization. Your support through likes, comments, and subscriptions enables in-depth analyses like this. January 12th proved nuclear deterrence fragile. 3 Ukrainian drones destroyed 3 Russian radars, created 40% blind spot. Russian paranoia nearly triggered nuclear mobilization. Dead hand automatic system approached activation. 10 minutes from potential launch. US-Russia direct communication prevented catastrophe. Transparency verified no threat. Crisis de-escalated. World survived. But lesson clear. Attacking nuclear infrastructure risks everyone, not just combatants. Entire planet. That's why January 12th matters. That's why nuclear stability isn't optional. That's why we came closer to apocalypse than anyone wants to admit. Stay informed, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next Operation Breakdown.